forest, headlights. Well, okay. Well, it looks like, Yaroslav, that's how your life ended. My name is Yaroslav, and someone put a hit on me. I worked as a project manager at a cryptocurrency fund. It was the beginning of 2019. Sasha, my boss, invited me to consult on his project. It's a fund that trades cryptocurrency. He takes your managed funds and makes trades on the exchange in a 70-30 split. 30% to the fund, 70% to the client. We could actually see the amount, like when it was 200,000, then suddenly 215 or 20. He shows a screenshot and says something went up there. In November, a ton of money came in, 400,000 in 2 weeks. Well, like now that's in crypto. At the current rate, that's 2.5 million. Somewhere around autumn, he started slipping in moments where he wasn't joking anymore. Yeah, I mean, he meditates and trades. He says, damn it, his third eye opens or something, tells him how to enter a trade, and then he just goes for it, damn it. He meditates with up to $200,000 at stake. There were other people involved in the project too, a group of investors who gave Sasha cash directly. Receipts were sometimes provided, sometimes not. These were not ordinary people. The investments totaled $450,000. He also started saying that these same people were coming to him asking for their money back. He said, guys, there's no money, like there's just no money. He fought with Sasha, saying he was leading us the wrong way and had screwed us over. Questions started to come up that most likely the profit being paid out to clients wasn't coming from actual profits, but from the money coming in from new clients. So what did you do with the money? Where did it go? Well, most likely you just screwed up somewhere along the way. On your meditative trading sessions, you started hanging out with those guys, you know, investors with cash. And that's what happened. Well, I made the decision that I needed to join this war. First, I went and talked to some lawyers. People helped me figure out what this was all about, what he was facing, and so on. A scam. Sasha took everyone's money. He said he couldn't pay anymore, that everything was already going to hell. He turned to some gangsters who started calling me and threatening me. And well, I mean, real threats, not jokes, but serious ones. And I wasn't at home because, well, they called me and said they'd blow my head off right in the yard if I didn't back down. I left and rented different apartments, just waiting for the pressure to ease. There was a whole mix of emotions, doubts, and the urge to back down. Do I really need all this? Family, kids, responsibilities, no money. I need to earn and have something to live on. I got myself into some crap here, you know, some kind of conflict with the guy who stole millions. But now, what can he even do to me? I started sending out messages to all the news outlets that might pick up this story, like crypto news outlets and just the various news agencies. I did everything I could to make this information public and not just keep it among investors or those who even know anything about the project. After I published it, there was a bit more commotion. I gave an interview, and that was the last time Sasha came up. He went underground. I started trying to figure out what to do with my life next. 2 months of silence, some fuss, and complete confusion about what's going on, where Sasha is, and what he's doing. I got in a taxi and went home. On the way, I called my wife and told her that I'd be there soon. I walked toward my building entrance and saw a van parked outside. I lined up with it and saw through the side window that there were some guys sitting inside. Well, they were all wearing caps and masks, not like ski masks or anything special forces would wear, but just regular medical masks and caps. And at one point, the driver does this, looks at me, taps his neighbor on the arm and says, "Look." I thought, wow. Looks like they're after me, guys, you know. I hear, you know, that click, click. The doors open and then vroom, the lights in the cabin turn on, and I look and, well, let's just say there are a lot of them. And everyone starts pouring in. They run up to me and say something and shout, and well, basically they start grabbing me and dragging me. I have no idea what's going on. I realized that, well, this is some kind of kidnapping or something, like an attack, but there's no way to do anything because there are two people hanging on each of my limbs. I understand that I have a wife and small children, and if I just disappear without a trace, if they just drag me off somewhere, that's... All I could do was resist with all my strength and scream as loud as I could. Got it. I thought I would scream my soul out there, but it worked. Well, people started running over. The concierge, Aunt Olya, ran out and started hitting with an umbrella. She was the only person, the concierge. Well, she's an older woman, the only person who got involved in the fight. They shoved me into the car while everyone in the yard watched, and the concierge ran up yelling, "What are you doing, you bastards?"
What was your wife doing? How did she find out?
Oh, Uncle Weist was there. Well, her neighbors came and said, "We're not sure, but it looks like your husband was just kidnapped right outside the building. Let me stay with the kids." She put the kids to bed. "You go and check." So she went outside and saw my things lying around. She thought I had been kidnapped. And that most likely that's what happened. Well, anything could be happening to me right now, up to anything. Well, starting from just being detained and accused of something all the way to, being killed. She thought I was dead. She imagined all kinds of things. Who wouldn't in this situation? Right away, the video of of them actually loading me into the car, spread all over Telegram channels and the news. They kidnapped a person right in front of their house, in the van, right at the moment when they were already pushing me in and taking me away. At that moment, I had already accepted it. You accept your fate like whatever is in front of you right now. I had an image in front of my eyes, like a forest, headlights, and I was like, okay, well, looks like Yaroslav, this is how you ended your life. They put me in the back seat like that. We sat close together and they said, well, you're an idiot, we're saving you, and you're screaming. They said, well, we came here to save you. I asked what they meant, and they said no one would kill or kidnap me. They were saving me. But I still didn't understand what was happening. Is this the FBI? Is this America? Is this Obama? Who is this anyway? Someone put a hit on you. What story? What else? We are officers of the Security Service of Ukraine. Well, I said, that's funny, but why? How? And then we drove into the forest. He took out his identification, showed it to me. I still didn't believe it. Stories where law enforcement officers do something that goes beyond the limits. They occur in our country, Russia and Belarus. It happens. I looked at all of this, and from that moment on, it was like a real movie started. Like switching from one car to another. The oldest one, he was getting messages in real time, like his wife left, what she said, what she wrote in her statement, and so on and so forth. Where was the interception plan announced? He asked me, do you have any idea who could have put a hit on you? Can you maybe give the first letter of the name or something like that, or maybe the last name? I said, Sasha there, yeah. They brought me to Odessa, delivered me, handed me over to the investigator. The investigator questioned me. And then in the evening, they took me to the forest for a reenactment. A specialist came, someone who is a master of his craft, right there on the spot. They looked at references to see what kind of wound to make on me, so that the blood would flow, so it would clot, so it would look real or not. Then the whole story started. Sit like this, lie like that. Do this too, you're too clean. They took photos to send to Sasha, and as proof that the job was done, and that he can go on enjoying his life and no jerk will be running around in the media anymore, telling everyone that he's a scoundrel, a fraud, and deceives people. So I was living in a safe house, and there were always two officers with me, rotating shifts. In my room where I was staying, I wasn't allowed to close the door. I had a television with internet access and YouTube, so it was definitely easier for me than for my family members. What will happen there now with my wife, my mom, my grandmother, with people who are definitely going to be more vulnerable? because I know what's happening to me. I know that I'm okay, but over there people don't know, and that's what worried me more at that moment.
Didn't you want to text your wife?
I considered logging into my email on the television browser to send an email, but I didn't understand. Well, and I trusted the employees who told me that Sasha had connections in the authorities, including in the cyber police. It's possible, well, I still don't understand who he is or what he is, but he has connections in the cyber police. It's possible that everything I sent to my wife could be read, and that could put everything at risk. I had to endure all of this, and it was really difficult.
But how did the security service of Ukraine even know that someone put a hit on you?
I'm not sure I can just reveal all of this like that, but the hit was given to a person who, well, didn't go through with it, but instead said that an assassination was being planned here, that he wouldn't carry it out, and that the criminal needed to be apprehended. He was apprehended at the moment when he came to meet the hitman, received photos of my head with a gunshot wound, which were also covered with fluorescent powder. He checked in everywhere, looked around, gasped, asked questions about where I was buried and so on, and handed over the second part of the payment for my head. Attention, the amount. The contract on me is $5,000. Yes, he was arrested as soon as he handed over the money. For Sasha, I came back to life then. And they told me, like, that's it, they got your guy. Like I said, how? That's how they got him. Can I call? No, they're already taking him, giving him the suspicion notice. Then you can... They called the investigator from the investigation, said it's okay, that they've already talked to his wife, and then I called her on Messenger and said that everything is fine.
How was the conversation with his wife?
This situation turned everything upside down. We're not really husband and wife anymore. Honestly, I don't know. So should I show it or not? But, well, it didn't happen. You know, it's like some kind of movie music, you get it? Everyone is running toward each other. It's a complicated moment. I mean, in real life, everything happens completely differently because, well, there was a lot of stress leading up to it. Well, I mean, when I was kidnapped, my youngest child was 3 months old. Everyone was happy. But this is, well, you know, not Hollywood, man, not Hollywood at all. The trial is going on right now.
What is he facing? What charge?
I'm pretty sure it's Article 115, Part 2. That's attempted murder. It's considered attempted because it was prevented, not because he changed his mind and stopped, but because it was stopped by special service officers. And when he made the payment, he thought I was dead. According to the case, that is, under the article, it's from 10 years to life. And at the first hearing, when we saw each other, I turned to look him in the eyes and he started shaking. He looked at me and basically he showed me. Up until February 14, 2022, he was in the pre-trial detention center. Every time. You know how it works. The preventive measure lasts 2 months and is reviewed afterward. The hearing is on January 14th, 2022, my birthday. They decided it was the perfect time to release him under house arrest in a rented apartment in Odessa. Are you scared now? I'm being cautious. I sincerely hope he isn't foolish enough to mess with the family we're currently living apart from. And, well, they have nothing to do with it at all. I don't go anywhere alone, you know, in the dark. I don't deliberately put myself in any danger. I'm optimistic about everything. Even when things go wrong, I try to see something good. Anyway, I'll find some positives here that you could describe as the ability to live under pressure, to make decisions when everything is falling apart around you, meaning not to lose focus and not to give up. But on the downside, well, there are plenty of downsides too, including, well, divorce, and my mom's and wife's nervous systems being wrecked. Being a person who was targeted by a hitman. My actions completely shut off anything human in Sasha, and he decided that the only way to fight me was to kill me. I killed the human in him for a while, but now, of course, Probably after all this time, he has his own family problems, for sure. He has a lot of money and a lot of time has been lost. Well, I mean, can you imagine? He probably regrets it by now. I sincerely hope that there's still something human left in his mind. It was supposed to be temporary, but it's been almost 2 years. I mean, it wears you out morally and financially, and sometimes you just want to do something constructive. When you have creative work, when you're creating, you need to be in some kind of flow, you know? But you're not in the flow. Sometimes they call you back and say, Vasya, let's re-examine your injured head. I've become more cynical, yeah, but I try not to lose faith in people. That's because, again, there's Sasha with his $5, and then there are the security service officers, no matter how that might sound right now, and so on. But security service of Ukraine officers are present, who came and recorded him. And instead of coming and saying to him, Uncle, here are the tapes, look, whose face is this? What are you saying here? To kill 100 or 200 or however much you have, give it and take the tapes and go your own way. No, they saw it through to the end. Right where, something like this, something dark, you definitely need to look closely somewhere nearby. There will definitely be light too.